We're here today with designers Diane and Nick Sauer, designers of Pinball Showdown and Conspiracy. Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is flamboyant, marked by or given to strikingly elaborate or colorful display or behavior, which is an odd definition, but we've all heard the word before. This isn't a strange one that is new to everybody. At least I don't think it's new to you, right?
No, definitely not.
Nope.
That's good. So take it away. What do you have?
Well, we talked about it a little bit together and separately. Like for me, the first thing I thought of is a game that I actually had worked on and I shelved that I hoped sometime to get back to, which had a flamboyant kind of element to it.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was a game that all the players are disco dancers back in the 70s. And so you're trying to win. You're trying to like go through and win the big contest. And in doing that, obviously you have flamboyant like that. You have like your signature dance moves, and then there's a whole like phase where you go through and maybe you get different things that help you, like platform shoes or like a particularly cool like dress or silk shirt that would add to your popularity.
So what happened that it was shelved?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. What do you remember?
Lack of time, I guess.
Yeah, it's still out there. I'm sure I'll eventually get to it. I guess part of it too is that I've realized over time that since Nick and I, are older than a lot of gamers, and I don't know if the theme would be like, if it would be good or bad or something not that interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting to people.
It's one of those things where if it gets so old that it's cool again.
Right.
Yeah. That's neat, though.
So there's that. The one I came up with today, actually two I came up with today. One was like a parade float, where like we're doing parade floats, and the floats are moving through town, but there's different sections to the town, different types of people in the town. So we want to win the contest at the end for the best float, which all the people vote on. And to do that, maybe in between towns, like we have, maybe we take a side street and quickly change our float. So, like to appeal to, like, oh hey, the little kids are coming up. The kids were run by the elementary school, so let's make our float more kid friendly. Or run by the firehouse. So
you can like pick up the mayor and have the mayor on the float for a few blocks. Right.
Exactly. So stuff like that is what I was thinking would be neat.
That is neat.
Let's see, what else did I come up with? Nick, you could jump in any time here.
Okay.
If you have something.
Well, like I told you, my actually the two I came up with were the Scarlet Pimpernel or Zorro. Struck me as flamboyant. But something that just occurred to me now: the movie The Warriors. Right?
Oh yeah.
That is like that by definition is flamboyant. The game I thought of was this old game, again dating myself here, called Kung Fu 2100. It was a little micro game where you're playing martial artists beating up these like high-tech clone masters who are running the world. Have you seen the series Into the what's that called? Into the Badlands.
Yeah.
That's basically the same concept.
What is the name of the series?
Into the Badlands.
Oh, okay.
It's actually
it's on AMC
It's
now.
a martial arts thing, you're martial artists fighting in this world that's just dystopian future.
That's cool.
Right. Which made me think of like when he was telling me this, I was thinking of like the Netflix series Glow, with the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
great one, actually.
I thought that could be a theme, something where like you're trying to develop your character, get fans, that kind of thing, and obviously besides you're the various outfits and stuff you wear, but you would obviously have like they have like their moves, the various moves that they could do, and stuff like that, and then they had their kind of shtick.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned The Warriors, which is probably in my top 5 movies of all time.
Is it really?
And
wow.
I even designed a game around it called Nowhere to Run. It's just one of our little postcard games that we did, but that's like my dream license as well. Would be to make a actual licensed Warriors game, and
that would be cool.
The cool thing is, I went to Los Angeles this time last year, and we went into a comic book store, and just happened to be going to the comic book store anyway, and Walter Hill, the director of the Warriors, was there doing a signing, and and there was nobody. It was done. There was one person left in the crowd, and he was wrapping up, and I got to walk up and get a quick picture, which was just like a super shock.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was my chance to ask him for the license, but I blew it. I was just in shock. Yeah. I could have brought that up. Like, hey,
that would have been. How many often you get an opportunity like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's
by
not
the way, I'm a game designer and
and I already made and published this bootleg Warrior game, but
it'd be cool if it was legitimate, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was a game on Kickstarter not that long ago that was like miniatures. I have no idea. It was way out of my price range. So
yeah, I think I do remember seeing that too. So the other things like for Flamboyant I came up with is I thought Easter eggs, like actual decorating Easter eggs.
So decorating them or hiding and finding them.
Well,
or both.
You could do both.
Well, how about something with Fabergé eggs? Those are pretty fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
The thing I instantly just thought about with Flamboyant and Easter eggs when you said it was trying to make the Easter egg so like flamboyant and colorful and everything else, but also making it so it's not easily found when you go to hide it. Like there's those two are against odds with each other.
Right, like maybe there's two contests. There's the decorating contest, and then there's the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to try to do well in both, but it's not too easy.
Right, because you're gonna have to. Right. That's gonna be a fine line there for sure.
But yeah, Fabergé eggs as well. That's great.
Right. Yeah, the Fabergé eggs. That'd be something. There certainly could see something with that.
Yeah, you could do like a high tech jewel thieves, and there's Flamboyant for you. Coming down on wires, trying to steal Fabergé eggs out of a museum. Yeah. You gotta leverage. It's one of my favorite shows.
That's great. Yeah. Just the more extreme, the better.
Yeah.
Which now the last thing that I wrote down about Flamboyant was magicians.
Oh yeah. So magic is. We have a game, Smoke and Mirrors. I don't know of a lot of games about magicians. Do you know of any?
Nick, no. I don't. Nothing pops to. I know of a pinball game. I know pinball games that are about magic that have like a lot of cool.
I know of. There's one more game and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a card game and it's just themed on magic. But and I'm gonna think of it as we go.
It's it for me, so
But you think it would be a more popular theme because it's one of those things that is up there. Like there's spies, there's magicians, but you just don't see a lot of magic games.
Right, and you could certainly come up with some really cool magic kind of based mechanics.
Trickerion. Trickerion.
Yep, that's one.
Right.
What is that?
You're playing competing magicians, right? I've never played it, but my friend Dan bought it. So it was not a cheap game. I remember at the time.
Okay, so, that's why I don't know.
You're trying to competing magic trick to come up with like the most outrageous magic trick, if I remember correctly, which you should check because I've never played it. But.
The other one
that one you've played?
I haven't played that. I've seen it. I've seen it around. The other one that I was thinking of, I am looking it up right now, is Divinare, but that's fortune telling.
Oh, okay.
Right.
International Contest of Mediums. It's kind of fortune telling. It's definitely fortune telling, but it kind of has the same magic feel, which is also very flamboyant and
Sure. Yeah, it's another possible. I'm just trying to think of like magic themes where maybe you can do something, make things just disappear or under the shell, like a shell game kind of thing, like mechanic or something.
You have to include a CD that has the final countdown to the music show, right?
See, there's a lot of like magic, like there's like Hocus, so that's like magic themed, but it's like fantasy magic. So there's definitely a lot of like fantasy ones.
Oh, sure, wizards, that kind of stuff.
But there's
spellmaster. Yeah.
When I search for it online, it's Trickerion. That's it. That's really the only one. At least that's the only one that comes up. Smoke and Mirrors should be on there somewhere too, but it's not. So
right.
So I want you to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, but I want you to tell everyone also about what you do and some of the games that you've made.
Okay, well, Nick and I are Shoot Again Games. You can get in touch with us on Twitter at Shoot Again Games and on Facebook Shoot Again Games also. So it's pretty simple, and our website is shootagaingames.com. So real simple. But what we do is we've made, at this point, like 5 games?
Well, Born to Serve's not out yet, so 4,
right.
I guess.
So we've done. We've done Looting Atlantis, which is a game where you're Atlanteans escaping the volcano, but you're trying to loot all the high tech stuff to set yourself up after you go into some crappy civilization somewhere. We've done Conspiracy, where you play conspiracy theorists trying to prove your various conspiracies while discrediting the other,
crazy people's
conspiracies.
Yeah.
Pinball Showdown, which is a game where the players are pinballs inside of a pinball machine during multi-ball, trying to compete to get the best bonuses, hit the various devices, etc. Get wizard mode going and not drain. And then the next game that's coming out very shortly, it was on Kickstarter 4 or 5 months ago, is Bigfoot vs. Yeti, which is actually a sequel to Conspiracy. But in this one, you're playing cryptozoologists trying to prove Bigfoot, Yeti, Jersey Devil, Loch Ness Monster, etc.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole mechanic where there's a rivalry between Bigfoot and Yeti because one doesn't like the other one stealing the spotlight, kind of thing.
Yeah, Yeti wants the horn in Bigfoot's popularity there.
Right. And the next game that we're working on right now is called Born to Serve, where you are out-of-work superheroes competing for a job in a restaurant, for the only job in the restaurant for basically a waiter or waitress job. And you have whoever makes the most tips by the end of the night is going to get that job. And, of course, none of you or your former supergroup members are above using your powers to get the best tips.
I just saw the artwork for that today, and it looks like a comic that I had in the mid-'90s. It's right on point.
Yeah, that was that's the idea of the vision I've always had for the box is front of the box would be like basically the size of a comic book. The box would be, and it would have a front cover that looked like an older comic, and on the back of the box there'd be like a page from a comic book which would tell the backstory of the game, like how they lost their funding and. And now they have a job, so it would be told.
You have to get a real job, yeah.
Right. It would be in comic book format from their perspective on the back of the box, so you know what it's about. In fact, we just wrote the script. Finally got the script nailed. I wrote the script and sent it off to the artist, which I've never written a comic book script before.
But he was very excited about that.
He thought we did a good job. I mean, we were both comic readers, so and my degree was in video and television production. That's my degree in, so I knew about scripting and that kind of stuff. So
that's my degree as well. That's my degree as well. Yeah, exactly. And then we end up making board games.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's a very natural path. The best class that I had was one where I learned Photoshop. That's the one that for the 20 years since then, or 19 years since then, I use it daily. So, that's where...
that was actually worth it, right?
My entire education was for a Photoshop course.
Wow.
We also have to make videos, so it works.
That's true. Yeah, that I have something that helps a little bit when you have to go and make a video or light something and etc. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, thank you both for joining me, and we'll do this again tomorrow.
All right. Sounds great.
Sounds good.